Welcome in, dear friends. Thank you very much for joining me today and hope you guys are doing well. So, we had a pretty awesome week one in the NFL preseason. So, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, a lot of good games happened, a lot of quarterbacks and players that were recently drafted. They got some action time. So, it was pretty awesome to see them, like Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, and other ones, and also some of the veterans like Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes also played. So it was a pretty awesome week one NFL preseason. So we're going to talk about most of the games and the players that stood out. So I'm definitely excited about this video. Before we do get started, I would like to mention that on my YouTube channel, I create content about money, sports, and personal topics with the goal of bringing value to other people's lives. So if you guys find value in this video and other videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at NFL preseason week one. All right, so the first game we're going to talk about is the Cincinnati Bengals versus Philadelphia Eagles game. And the Eagles pulled out the win 34-27. So this was a pretty good game to watch just because for the Cincinnati Bengals, they actually played Joe Burrow. For the Philadelphia Eagles, they did not play Jalen Hurts. So not a lot of excitement on the Eagles side. But on the Cincinnati Bengals side, they played really well on offense. So Joe Burrow, he went 9 for 10, 123 yards, two touchdowns. Jamar Chase had four receptions for 77 yards and one touchdown. And I mean, the offense looked really good. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase connection looked excellent. So I think we can pretty much expect that all season long. So the Bengals, the last few years, have a very, very bad record, like in the first 2 weeks of the season. So the reason that the starters are playing in the preseason is to try to break that trend and have a better start to the beginning of the regular season. So that's what they're doing there. So, I mean, as a fan, I definitely enjoyed watching the starters play. So we'll see what the Bengals look like once the regular season starts. All right, so the next game we're going to talk about is the Indianapolis Colts versus the Baltimore Ravens game. And the Ravens pulled out the win 24-16. So this game, I was excited about watching the game, but it was kind of disappointing just because Anthony Richardson got injured at the beginning of the game. So I didn't get to fully see, his game and see if he's, better than Daniel Jones. But let's take a look at the numbers here. So for the Colts, Daniel Jones went 10 for 21, 144 yards, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions. And Anthony Richardson, while he was in there, he went 2 for 3 for 21 yards. So I thought this game, was going to be pretty interesting. I wanted to see, who's better, Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson. Um, so we obviously didn't get that question answered since Anthony Richardson, he got his pinky dislocated after getting sacked at the beginning of the game. So that was kind of disappointing, but I'm sure next week he's going to get more playing time. And yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a close competition between the two of them. I don't think either one is like a very, very good quarterback, but I think Daniel Jones is solid. But I think Anthony Richardson has more upside potential just because of his running ability and he has a stronger arm. But he does make more mistakes, in my opinion, than Daniel Jones. So we'll see what the rest of the regular season looks like for the Colts and who ends up being their starting quarterback. Um, yeah, right now I have no idea who it's going to be. Um, I'm leaning towards Anthony Richardson, but we'll see. And for the Ravens, they don't really have any of their starters, so there's not much to talk about there. The next game we're going to talk about was probably the most exciting and most anticipated game of NFL preseason week one. And that was the game between the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers. So the Cleveland Browns won 30-10. And let's take a look at some of the numbers real quick. So for the Cleveland Browns, Shador Sanders, quarterback, he went 14 for 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And for the Carolina Panthers, Andy Dalton went 13 for 19, 101 yards. And the starter, Bryce Young, went 4 for 6 for 58 yards and 1 touchdown. All right, so yeah, I mean, this was definitely the most exciting and most anticipated game of week one preseason. I was definitely glued to the TV and had to watch the game. So, I mean, as we all pretty much saw, Shador Sanders played very, very well in his first game. He had the 2 touchdowns, which were very impressive. And he also scrambled and ran, looks like for 19 yards total in the game. So I was definitely very impressed by Shador Sanders um, in his first NFL game. You didn't know what to expect if he's going to be a lot better than expected, a lot worse. So I think for being a fifth round pick, and just from what I saw in the first game, which from my understanding was against the first team defense for the Carolina Panthers, he played very well. Um, he made a couple like mistakes where he ran out of the pocket and got sacked, but other than that, it was very, very impressive. And I think it's just a matter of time for him to take over the starting spot over Joe Flacco when the season eventually starts. But I think the Cleveland Browns are very happy with him, and I think they might potentially have a long term solution at the quarterback position. So I was definitely rooting for Shador, and I was happy that he had a very successful first game. And let's hope that he keeps stacking them up. So another game that I was excited to watch was the New York Jets versus the Green Bay Packers. Justin Fields, new quarterback for the Jets, versus Jordan Love, quarterback for the Packers. So let's take a look at the numbers first. So for the Jets, Justin Fields went 3 for 4, zero touchdowns, zero interceptions. He did have 2 carries for 14 yards and one rushing touchdown. So, pretty good game there while he was in there. And for the Packers, Jordan Love went 1 for 5 for 7 yards. So, not a lot of action there for Jordan Love. But just kind of want to talk a little bit about this game. So, with the New York Jets, they got a new head coach, Aaron Glenn, new quarterback, Justin Fields. So, I mean, honestly, I think the Jets might be better this season than expected. I think Justin Fields will play well, and he's very dangerous with his running ability. And the Jets have two very good running backs with Brees Hall and Allen. And I think they're going to surprise a lot of teams this year. I think they're going to be better than expected. Um, so we'll see what the Jets look like this season. And for the Packers, I think they're going to be again a very good team with Jordan Love. So another game that I had to watch and was very excited about was the Tennessee Titans versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we can see that the Bucks won 29-7. And just some player statistics here. For the Titans, the rookie quarterback Cam Ward went 5 for 8, 67 yards. And for the Bucks, they did not have Baker Mayfield start. So I was excited about this game. Just kind of wanted to see what the number one overall pick, Cam Ward, you know, was going to look like in his first NFL action. Um, I mean, he played, very well and solid. As we mentioned, he went 5 for 8 for 67 yards. And he had a couple of completions down the field, which was impressive to see. And he was just kind of moving around very well and he was making the right decisions. So, in the limited action that I could see, I think it was a good start for him. So, it'll be interesting, to watch this season to compare Cam Ward, who was the number one overall pick, compare him with Shador Sanders, who was the fifth round pick, just to see, what they look like during the regular season, who's going to play better, if Shador Sanders is going to start at some point. So I think between the two of them, Shador Sanders had a better showing in preseason week 1, but it was just very limited action for Cam Ward. So we'll see how things progress going forward. But it would be interesting if Shador Sanders ends up being better than Cam Ward, but he was the fifth round pick and Ward was not number one overall pick. So it would be a little crazy if that's how things play out going forward for the two of them. But nonetheless, both of them had a very good start. All right, so another awesome game to watch was the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Steelers won 31-25. Let's take a look at some of the numbers here. For the Steelers, Skylar Thompson, 20 for 28, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns. Mason Rudolph, 9 for 10, 84 yards, 1 touchdown. And for the Jags, Trevor Lawrence went 6 for 7 for 43 yards. So, solid game by him. So, this was definitely a must watch game. Well, for one, I just kind of wanted to see Trevor Lawrence have a good game. I'm definitely a Trevor Lawrence fan. I think he's a really good quarterback. And I think he is a dual threat, throwing the football and also running. And I think he had a very good game, and I think he's going to have a very good season slash career going forward. And then definitely had to watch their rookie wide receiver slash defensive back, Travis Hunter. So he's going to be playing both on offense as a wide receiver and on defense as a defensive back. So I think that's the first time in the NFL that somebody is going to do that on a regular basis. So he had a couple nice catches on the offensive side. He wasn't targeted too much. Looks like he had 2 receptions for 9 yards. So not a lot of activity there, but he's going to be more involved going forward. And then on the defensive end, he also played well. So I can't wait for the regular season, to watch the Jags play Trevor Lawrence on offense with all of his weapons. He's going to have Travis Hunter as well, and then also watch Travis Hunter on defense. So I think the Jags are going to be one of the most exciting teams to watch this season, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Aaron Rodgers did not play in this game, and I don't think he's going to play in the preseason, but I can't wait to watch Rodgers play with the Steelers. The Steelers are my team this season because of Rodgers, so can't wait to watch both of these teams actually in the regular season. All right, we're going to take a look at just a couple more games. So, the game between Minnesota Vikings and Houston Texans was pretty interesting. The Minnesota Vikings won 20-10. I was curious about this game just because I wanted to see the Vikings quarterback, JJ McCarthy, play. So he went 4 for 7 for 30 yards. So not a lot of action there, but he was pretty smooth in his operation. So, I think the Vikings also have their long-term quarterback of the future in JJ McCarthy. Since they got rid of Sam Darnold, who had a very good season last season, and they're willing to roll the dice on JJ McCarthy, who's essentially a rookie after being injured last season. I think they're very confident that he is the real deal, and so far he has looked like it. But we'll see what he looks like in the regular season when he gets a lot more games under his belt. But we'll definitely be rooting for JJ McCarthy and wishing him a successful season. The last game we're going to talk about is the game between the New York Giants and the Buffalo Bills. So the New York Giants won 34-25 over the Bills. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. So for the Giants, they have four different quarterbacks who are in a quarterback competition. So Russell Wilson went 6 for 7 for 28 yards. Jameis Winston went 7 for 11 for 62 yards, one touchdown. Tommy DeVito, 10 for 14, 73 yards, one touchdown. Jackson Dart, 12 for 19, 154 yards. And for the Bills, Josh Allen did not play, but Mitchell Trubisky went 9 for 13, 438 yards, and one touchdown. So I just want to talk about the quarterback competition for the New York Giants. So I think Russell Wilson is going to be the starting quarterback. He's the most senior veteran on the team, and I think he's the most reliable one. However, the rookie quarterback, Jackson Dart, he had a really good game. He again went 12 for 19, 154 yards, and he looked very smooth and very competent in his decision making. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point during the season, Jackson Dart gets to start for the Giants. And then the other two, I think, would be backups, DeVito and Winston. So we got a very healthy quarterback competition in New York. And I think the Giants are happy with Russell Wilson as their quarterback now. But I think they might also have a quarterback of the future in Jackson Dart. Still a little too early for that, but we'll see how things progress. So we'll see if the Giants are any good this season. All right, guys, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover for NFL preseason week 1. So it was a very exciting week in the NFL, a lot of exciting games and a lot of exciting players that we took a look at, like Shador Sanders, excellent showing. Cam Ward played very well. Travis Hunter, Jackson Dart. So a lot of good action by the rookies this season. And we also had some of the veterans play, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson. So very exciting start to the NFL season. Can't wait to watch the rest of the season. So after every week, I'm going to be making a video on that week's NFL action, just like this one. So be on the lookout for that. And again, if you guys found value in this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel so that I can continue making these videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.